So when a man becomes preeminent, he's expected to have enthusiasms. Enthusiasms. What are mine? Baseball. Yeah, how's that for Robert De Niro impersonation? You've all seen The Untouchables, right? Yeah. So the good news is no one's getting whacked today. Unless you fear AI. Anybody here fears AI?
No.
All right. Yeah, one person. It's okay. It's all right, we'll give you a pass. So 2 days ago, I was holding this very same Pudge autograph bat in my hand. Had a little talk with presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Angel, play the clip. Anybody know any good Kamala Harris jokes? Kamala Harris 2024? All right. But AI clearly has massive potential for America's economic growth, but big tech is fear-mongering about AI and calling for a new regulatory body staffed by their cronies. Is artificial intelligence to be feared and regulated?
I think it's the mistake of any industry that wants to self-regulate is just an industry that wants to erect barriers to new entrants. So I'm going to give you my quick skinny down on AI. Against the backdrop of, by the way, AI policy being set by a vice president who I think quite literally cannot spell AI. I think that that's actually the current state of where we're at. And so now try asking ChatGPT, who Chris Christie thinks I am, by the way, but try asking ChatGPT what we should do about climate change or what we should do about racial injustice. Well, it'll give you an answer that's as though it's a fact about anti-racist policies or anti-carbon policies, as though it was converting degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius, right? And I think that's actually the real danger is there's something inside us that makes us want to bend the knee. So the short answer on AI is I don't want centralized government regulation.
So nothing to fear. You heard it from him. No fear. No government regulation is needed. And I've created this site, angelai.com/no fear. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later, what's on the site. And there's also this phone number. I'm going to write that phone number down, 818-210-4650. 818-210-4650. Don't worry, we'll repeat that number a few more times during the presentation. So I'm going to show you today how AI actually works. I'm going to go dig right in. And then we're also going to talk about this Pudge autographed baseball bat. I'm going to put this down for a minute. So we're going to talk about exactly how AI works, what's the inner nuts and bolts, so that once you know, then you realize there is nothing to fear. That is, it's very simple. Okay, so next slide. So today's lending technology, and I should change this slide to say financial services technology, is like a carpenter building furniture, building this wood stage with a handsaw. Imagine how long it would take to build this stage with a handsaw. Now, imagine that carpenter with an electric saw. Right? First time you see electric saw, pretty scary. You get your fingers cut off, right, if you don't know how to use it. But if you get a little bit of training, it isn't that hard to use. If you get a little bit of training, then the amount of time it would take to build this beautiful wood stage would be a fraction of the time. Same thing with artificial intelligence. It's just a tool. So let's go into how it works. Next slide, please. So how does neural networks work? I said that right. No, tongue twister. Large language models. Have you heard that term? How many of you heard that term? Okay, so that's what ChatGPT is and a bunch of others that have come out. They're called large language models. Next slide. And so large language models, they take a lot of computing power. So there's something called a GPU. How many of you know what that is? Yeah. So GPU stands for graphical processing units. And the reason we've had this explosion in AI today is because these GPUs, which were processing your computer graphics cards, were discovered they're really useful for crypto mining, and NVIDIA went and dominated that market because they were the leader in GPUs. And then they figured out, hey, we could use the same processors to train AI, because AI is also very computational heavy. So that's why NVIDIA is now a $1 trillion company. So one technology, which is the crypto blockchain technology, led to an explosion of a whole new technology. Right? So crypto market cap is about 4 trillion. Okay, AI is expected to exceed 10 trillion in economic value in this decade. Yo? Okay, so so now, why do you need all of this computing power? How does it work? Well, there's the math up there. That's how it works. And it looks kind of scary, right? You got all these numbers and charts and stuff. But I'm going to boil it down to you. I'm going to explain to you how this works. So you don't need years of math and engineering and differential equations and all that, because I'm going to get down to the bottom line. So next slide. So it's actually, if you cut through all the calculus and the math, you come down to one simple equation, neural net, that you can see for yourself. And I set it up as an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so if you can see it in an Excel spreadsheet, then you realize that there's nothing really to be afraid of. And I've open sourced it. I've exposed all the formulas and everything, so you can actually take that's kind of the building block, and you can take this and theoretically, right, all ChatGPT is a trillion Excel spreadsheets. Kind of oversimplifying it, but in essence, that's what it is, right? All these neural networks is this same exact formula. So this Excel spreadsheet solves a simple maze with 3 turns and learns and adjusts. So click, yeah. So to solve this, it took 5,000 iterations, right? So that's why it's so computing heavy, right? One little maze took 5,000 iterations. So if you think about a loan product, right, the maze, with 20,000, 100,000 pieces of paper of rules, so is a zillion twists and turns. And in a loan product or financial product, the maze is changing constantly until the closing of the deal, right? Because you can get new information, right? You get another document comes in or something happens, right? The seller says, whatever. So the maze is changing, and you got to recalculate. Right? So every time the maze changes, you have to recalculate. So you can imagine how much computing power that needs. So it isn't just a 2-dimensional maze, it's a 3-dimensional maze that is constantly shifting. That's why it's so hard to get a loan. That's why you need a good loan officer to partner with.
That's right.
Right. So that's someone that's got the experience that can deal with the shifting maze. But now imagine all of that in the computer. And the computer is shifting. And so when it shifts, the computer automatically adjusts and then in a microsecond calculates a new path. Okay, so that's what it's doing. So in this case, for a simple maze, it took 5,000 turns. And next, click. And then it calculated the path, and again, it goes back to that same formula I showed you earlier, the same commission formula. It did the same math to come out with which way to turn, right or left. Next, click. Okay, and so here you can see the expected turns, what it calculated versus what it needed. So if you look at that one number up there, it says 0.95. So if after 5,000 iteration, it figured out with a 95% probability that, whatever that is, I'm going to turn left. That it's 95% sure that the correct turn to make is the left turn. So that means there's a 5% chance that it's wrong. Okay, so neural networks are inherently probabilistic. Okay, so that's the problem with applying AI to financial services, because how would you like your bank statement to have a 5% chance of it being wrong? Right? Not acceptable, right? It depends on which direction it's going. Yeah. Right? So now the way to solve this is I could extend the Excel spreadsheet out and drag it down and go from 5,000 to 50,000 or to 5 million or 5 gazillion. And eventually those numbers will get smaller and smaller and smaller and go near zero, the differences, right? And so that, to get something calculated where you know for absolute certainty, in theory, could take you an infinite amount of computing powers for something as complex as a mortgage. So then how do we do it? Right? How is it that Angel AI can say it's 100% trusted? So with Angel AI, what I'm saying is, if it makes the wrong turn and you fall into a trap, okay, that it says, it calculated it said the income that you need is wrong, or it said the loan's approved when it really should have been declined because it doesn't meet XYZ agency guideline, okay? Even if it got it wrong, I will put my money behind it. Okay, so what that means is my mortgage company, this right now talking about my tech company, my mortgage company will fund that loan anyways. I'll put it on my balance sheet, so even if it got it wrong. So that's how confident I am about it, and it's already done tens of thousands of loans through it. So this has been in full production since 2018. It's been released incrementally over more than 10 years. So this wasn't built overnight. It takes a long time to build. It's a very meticulous process to build an AI that's accurate. Okay, so it's a meticulous process, number one. Number two, it is, the algorithms that we use are very proprietary, they're patented, and it's very hard to get right. Right? And so hard that we're the only ones that have figured it out. And we have the patents to support that. You'll be able to download a full open source version of this. It's not, you can go there right now, but you won't be able to download it because it's not released yet. So they're putting the final touches on it. So you'll be able to configure your maze and get a new thing and so forth. Now, the number, 818-210-4650, if you text that number, and this is where the baseball bat comes in. So if you don't text that number, I'm kidding. So if you text that number right now with your name, email address, and a 1-hour time slot that you are free, okay, one of my trainers will be made available for you at that time slot to give you a 1-hour workshop, okay? So you get a free workshop at your convenience. You get to call the shot when you're available. Please don't make it like at midnight or something. These are human beings that are doing the training, not AI, so they're not 24/7. Okay. And so that's number one. You will get a free workshop, and you will have a chance to win this Pudge autograph, Louisville Slugger baseball bat. And we'll auction it. We'll randomly select a winner by the end of the conference. So one of you will win one of these. So Pudge couldn't make it to the conference today because of some weather problems. A little hurricane. It's a little hurricane, yes, a little hurricane. But we do have his autograph. He's here in spirit. Okay. All right. Next slide. So ChatGPT is not Angel AI, right? So we talked a little bit about how the neural networks work and what's behind it, and I kind of hinted upon the difference, right? A regular neural network, there's always an error rate, it could always be wrong. So ChatGPT says may generate incorrect information, and there's lots of stories on the internet, on the media about different things that is done. Okay. Whereas Angel AI, and I talked about this, is 100% warranted. So if it gets your loan wrong, I'm going to fund it anyways. I'll put it on my balance sheet. And it's never wrong. I'd be out of business otherwise. All these loans that we do. Okay, so next slide. All right, Angel, you want to talk about this? And here's Angel behind Angel AI. So, so when you're chatting with Angel AI, it's really her. I'm kidding.
As Pavan mentioned, Angel AI 100% warranted answers. So this is a great example of why it's so important. You all know when it comes to your business, your client's money, your real money, accuracy is paramount. So we were at a conference not too long ago and sharing Angel AI and some of the things that it does. And someone came up afterwards and said, look, I asked this question to ChatGPT and I asked Angel AI. And look, ChatGPT gave me the answer right away. And Angel AI took 2 minutes. But if you look at these responses, they're different. So I know it might be a little small for some of you up on the screen, but it actually says on the ChatGPT side that the income limit was. So ChatGPT actually gave the correct answer for the year 2021. Whereas Angel AI, it runs through that extra verification phase to make sure that before it provides you your answer, it has a 100% confidence score. So when you're using Angel AI, sometimes you are going to get that instantaneous answer. The AI is always learning, it's always getting smarter and faster. Other times she may say, please allow me 2 minutes, please allow me 5 minutes. That extra verification is going to run so that when you do get that response, you know it is 100% warranted correct answer.
So on that note, I was working with the ladies in my lab, my tech lab, and yes, most of our engineers are actually women. I thought I'd get a yeah. And so they have solved the problem of the speed because accuracy is really hard. Okay, so we solved that problem. And we filed a bunch of patents on it. And now we've solved also the also the problem of speed. So a couple of days ago, actually it was a week ago now, time flies. So I was walking through it with them, and it's amazing how well it's working. So you're going to see like those most questions now, and within the next 30 days it'll be released. We have another release coming out tonight. We have a release of Angel AI almost every week with a bunch of new features. So within a month, there will be a release of Angel AI where it's going to be blazing fast, and you're going to get most answers instantaneously. And also, when you submit a document into Angel AI, right now it takes about 40 minutes. You could send in the tax returns or pay stubs or W-2s or whatever, and within 40 minutes it'll analyze it and say this is the income and this is how the borrower qualifies or whatever, which is amazing because if you look online and look at some of the biggest lenders out there, they'll say on their turn times for conditions, for document review turn times, they'll say like 1 day, 2 days, right? And we've been at 40 minutes forever. So, and that's coming down to minutes. So I kind of stole some of your thunder because you were going to be getting into that. But the point is that the women in my lab, and they're geniuses, right, have come up with this solution and a new architecture, a new design, so that we're both accurate, right, accurate enough so I can put my money behind it, and fast. Go ahead.
So here's some of the results that we're seeing by using Angel AI. So it has been in full use in production with our processing, our setup, our underwriting for years now at SunWest. And what you're looking at, these are nationwide decline rates of loans, broken down by ethnicity group. So for each color group there, blue, pink, black, yellow, gray, The bar on the left is the nationwide decline rate. The bar on the right is SunWest decline rate. So across the board, we've been able to significantly cut down on loan declines by using Angel AI and underwriting, just like that maze that you saw, because it can find, if there's any possible way to that cheese, Angel AI can find it and provide the same experience to the borrowers across the board, regardless how complicated their financial situation may be.
You're making me hungry. Just start thinking about pizza.
And providing the same experience, that's how you truly achieve fair lending. So this is what the turn times look like when you're using AI and underwriting. SunWest does something called 8 a.m. approvals. What that means is you submit your loan by 8 p.m. in your time zone. You have a fully underwritten conditional approval by 8 a.m. the next morning. Usually it's just a couple hours, but 8 a.m. approval has a ring to it, right? And those aren't just those really simple, easy loans that you get once in a blue moon. So 40% were for borrowers with lower FICO scores under 620. Over 50% were for lower down payments. Almost 60% were first-time home buyers. And as Pavan mentioned, when you have the AI reviewing documents, that happens quick too. You look other places, usually it's at best a couple of days. So most conditions, we gotta update this slide too. Most conditions are actually reviewed in under 40 minutes and cleared.
I think the stats are over 75% now, 60.
That's freaking awesome.
It is pretty good.
Yeah. And you could thank Angel for that.
We're gonna show you a few ways that you can use Angel AI. I will put that text number back up on the screen when we're finished here, so that you can jump on that opportunity to get a training on Angel AI at your convenience. You can also, we do have a booth in the back, so at lunch or this afternoon, please stop by. We're happy to help you get set up with your own free account. Everything, if we haven't mentioned it, everything you use Angel AI for is completely free. But some of the ways that you can use it here, free lead prospecting. What that means is you can actually upload a file of leads. It can be one lead, it can be 100,000 leads. There's no limit. You even can provide your own scripts, and Angel AI will set up call campaigns and email campaigns.
Yeah.
Marketing materials. Angel AI can create marketing materials for you as a professional and for your property listings. She can create high SEO ranked websites for your property listings and for you. You can turn those into flyers with one click. You can turn those into really nice social media posts with one click. So by just providing a little information to Angel AI on your listing, in a few moments, you'll have all your marketing materials for that listing.
Yeah. And Angel AI speaks over 100 languages. So you can speak to it in your language. When you go into it, it gives you kind of 3 default languages you can select from: English, Spanish, and Korean. But beyond that, if you start typing to it whatever language, it'll automatically detect and select. And what we call the Angelistas. What are the Angelistas?
The Angelistas.
They're your twin sisters.
They are Angel AI's human assistants. So when we say the AI does phone campaigns for you on your leads, it is not the AI actually making the phone calls, because no one likes a robocall and you can always tell. So Angel AI has her human assistants. They're all bilingual, English and Spanish, and they are the ones that are speaking to your leads. If they get someone on the phone that's interested, they're going to attempt to warm transfer that call to you. If you're not available, they'll shoot you over a follow-up email. And then you'll also receive daily email releases, new features coming out just about every week. So
stay tuned. Lots of really cool stuff coming up. I'm going to toss that number up on the screen one more time. So again, text that number with your name, your email address, and a date and time that you're going to be available to set up that training. And someone will be in touch shortly to get scheduled for it. I'm sorry? Yes, the question is this free? It is free. Free 99. So again, we do have a booth in the back. Please visit us at lunch this afternoon. We're happy when we get started today. Otherwise, and in addition, text that number and set up a hands-on training so you can learn to use these things in depth.
I get asked this question all the time, why is it free? Yes. It's because my tech company is all about getting users. And my goal is to get over 10 million users this year. So that's why it's free. It's just like Google. More users we get, the more valuable my tech company becomes. It's as simple as that. Yes.
How long do you think you'll stay free?
I don't really see, the business model is designed where I think it'll be free indefinitely. I don't really see a reason to not be free. Right. And, yeah.
Are you exclusive to the realty business?
As of right now, yes, but very soon we've had requests from people who own a chain of dry cleaners, people who own a chain from solar companies, from MLM companies, from car washes, and casinos. They all want this technology, so we're hopefully within 60, 90 days it'll be ready to go for the general audience for any market, any business. And that's how we get to 10 million plus users this year.
All right. Well, thanks everyone so much. And look forward to
One last thing, I do have to put in, I have to put in the legal disclaimer, the attorney will get upset at me. Myself, SunWest, Celigence, neither of us support or endorse any political candidates. I hope to be having more conversations with candidates from all full spectrum of the political spectrum. Thank you.
Nothing is beyond reach. Angel AI. AI you can bank on.